Hi folks, I only have 12 minutes of space of recording on this camera, on this phone. So let me see if I can just, I don't know, put a few points down, share some feelings. Like here I am Friday, 11:30 in the morning, in the day. And just, doing chores, doing the gardening, cleaning up the kitchen, whatever it might be. And just like, I don't know, it just these swells of emotion, not really heavy, but sometimes just like, which makes you just want to, which makes me sigh, just, if you will, and maybe it's a thought that I'm unaware of that comes to the surface, maybe it's just an emotion just comes out of somewhere or another. And what sometimes is the swell of emotion. It's sometimes, look, it's always different. Well, it's not always, but maybe like for now, it's just like vulnerability for myself and innocence, and the war on vulnerability and innocence, if you will, and the things in the world and the things in my life, currently happening, what's happened before. And, that comes up, and it's not, I mean, but it's not so much thoughts, but it's just emotion, more so dominantly or emotions. And it's a sorrow. It's not even a grief, because grieving is the process, but it's just a sorrow, and I think these are important, to have these moments and to be conscious and aware of them and be present with them and value them, because I think what's happening is that we're processing a lot of this, a lot of the energies, a lot of the electricity, right? A lot of the sorrow. And we need to be processing it often, a lot of the time, so it doesn't build up, And for myself, I think with consciousness, with the growth of consciousness, with the expansion of consciousness, you can see more what is right and wrong. You can see what is true and untrue. You can see what is more is healthy and unhealthy, etc. And you're learning about that day in and day out. And more so with your progress, you can you become more aware of that which is unhealthy and not healthy, And I'm talking about in a way how you've been treated, how I've been treated, how the world treats us, how people treat us, and you see, because, you, like in the Truman Show, he says you accept the reality with which you are presented. I just have to sneeze. Okay, just had a good sneeze there. Some people say, well, the sneeze, the droplets or flying. I don't know, like you can catch it through your cell phone or something like that. I mean, I know, but you know what I'm saying. The virus, high conspiracy. Anyway, so like, you have more of a consciousness. You see what was healthy, and so the way that we've been treated, what was I saying, and things like that. And so like, the more you realize that you're a divine being, the more you realize that you're a sacred being, the more you realize the the inner glow, your inner glow, what you're a part of, right? Your royalty, right? And whatever it is, just by nature, just by default, you start owning that. But then you realize as well, like how people just trying to destroy that, like really, people are trying to destroy your divinity, trying to break your spirit, trying to hurt you, trying to manipulate you, deceive you, energetically feed off you and disconnect you from your own inner source and devalue you. And that's hard. And that's been going on the whole time. So like, when you realize how precious you are, right? And not just because of your connection to source, but your efforts and your sensitivity and your soul on an individual, on a separate level, if you will, when you realize it, it's very, very difficult to understand that, because a lot of the time we just don't think of ourselves as valuable, and the critic voice speaks louder than anything else. You're useless, you're dumb, you're going to fail, you're ugly, you're pathetic, you're a loser, whatever it is, the helplessness. And then when that voice isn't so prominent anymore, that you realize your own value, let's just say, And then you realize that more so how under sieged it's been, how under attack it's been, and still is. You know what I mean? Like when you don't feel yourself, if you don't think that you have anything worthwhile in your safe, and someone breaks into your safe and takes something from the safe that you have, and you don't feel that it was anything valuable, you're not going to care. You're going to be indifferent about it. They probably did me a favor. But when it's something of value that they've taken, when you recognize something of value, that's difficult. That's hard to, and that's where the sorrow comes in and the grief comes in. And I think those are the kind of moments that I have from time to time, and they're actually very healthy, because I'm processing, and it's helping me build in my own consciousness and my own awareness, and realizing my own value, realizing my own worth, my own vulnerability, my own sensitivity, and things like that, and appreciate that. And so it's like, I don't have children. I don't plan to have children for different reasons, but not that I'm against people having children, but like, I know that if I had a son or a daughter, and how protective I would be of them in this world. I mean, by nature, and maybe just who I am. But you see, it's an extension of me, or there's something else that I need to protect, that I need to honor, that I need to, love. And that's my own inner child, And so it's that protection. Again, for myself, it's the confidence, it's the ability, to feel that I can protect myself from the sharks that we swim with, I send you out as sheep amongst the wolves. We live with wolves. We live with people, that want to hurt us. They want to make us unhealthy. They want to disconnect us. And so, you realize the need for your own protection and your own security, and to protect yourself and stand up for yourself. Stand up for yourself before you didn't stand up for yourself, before you felt like, oh, I deserve the beating, or something like that. You're a bit of a sadist in a way, or beat yourself up. But now you realize, no. There's something that really needs a lot of love here. It needs a lot of nurturing. It needs a lot of attention, right? It needs a lot of protection, okay? Something that feels very vulnerable. And that's the hard part, folks, is that like you got to stand up for yourself, right? And again, not like protesting in the streets or something like that, but like, I have feelings, I count, and I matter. And not I matter to other people, whatever it is, I matter to me, and I matter to the divine, I matter to God, I matter to, my destiny, I matter to the place of my purpose that I'm here for, or whatever it is. I matter. I count, right? And taking that stock, and recognizing that, and seeing that, and honoring that. And people will try and stamp you out all the time. They really will. And you've got to know who you are in your truth, in your strength, and in your divinity. You've got to know who you are. And I think this is the journey that we are on, in becoming more solidified in that knowing, more verified in that knowing, more confidence, more assured in that knowing, right? A knowing of who you are. And, these emotions that need to be processed, the awareness that needs to come from these emotions, right? The experiences that need to come from the emotions, the lessons, the teachings, whatever it is that comes from these emotions, are helping us grow in higher states of consciousness, deeper on a soul level, and connecting more with the grander, bigger, wider, existence of it all, the entering more of the palace, if you will, the kingdom, so to speak, and whatever it is, an elevation on the highest degree. All right, folks, I'm running out of time here. Thanks for that. It's good to talk. There's no question about it. And we'll speak soon. Take care.